Good morning, students. Today we shall learn about the law of conservation of energy. We have learned law of conservation of mechanical energy. That is, mechanical energy is conserved whenever the work is done by conservative forces. But when the work is done by non-conservative forces, then part of this mechanical energy is converted into heat, sound and light and some other forms of energy. Therefore, strictly speaking, mechanical energy is not conserved. The work done by the non-conservative forces appears in the form of heat, sound, light and so on, other forms of energy. So if you add all these other forms of energy along with the mechanical energy, then total energy of the system remains conserved. That is the meaning of law of conservation of mechanical energy. What does it say? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be transformed from one form into another form. So total energy of the isolated system remains conserved. It is not just mechanical energy. Total energy of the isolated system remains conserved. In an isolated system, total energy remains conserved. What does it mean? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be transformed from one form into another form. This is the statement of conservation of energy. Now, if we take this entire system, the entire universe itself acts as an isolated system. Entire universe, the huge universe itself can be taken as an isolated system. If there is any loss of energy in one part of the system, there will be gain of energy in the another part of the system. That's how total energy of the entire universe remains conserved. Okay, that is the meaning of law of conservation of energy. Strictly speaking, law of conservation of energy cannot be proved. It cannot be proved. But the violation of this law is never seen in the universe. The violation of law of conservation of energy is never seen. It is always valid. Okay. So based on this, we are going to solve so many numerical problems, and you will come to know the meaning of law of conservation of energy in the course of time when we discuss various branches of the physics as well as chemistry as well as biology. They are all interlinked. Energy is related to all, whether it is physical science, biological science or anywhere in the nature, the law is valid. The next one is power. How do you define power? The time rate of doing work is called as power. Power is defined as the time rate of doing work or the time rate of energy consumed. Time rate of energy transformed. Energy transformed or time rate of energy consumed. So in various forms we are going to define the power. So we know energy. children may be having same energy during this cross country race. Almost all the children run this race, complete the cross country race. But the one who completes it in less time is said to have more power. So the same amount of work, if it is done by taking less amount of time, that person is said to have more power. I think you got the point. If you are able to climb the steps, everyone can climb the steps. Suppose 10 steps are there. If these 10 steps are climbed in a very less amount of time, that person is said to have more power. If same piece of work is done by taking less amount of time, then that person is said to have more power. So power is related to amount of work done as well as time taken. So first we will define what is average power. Average power, P average, is defined as ratio of amount of work done to the time taken. Ratio of amount of work done to the time taken, or ratio of energy transferred to the time taken. This is called average power. Now, from this we can define what is instantaneous power. Before that, you can see the average power or instantaneous power. It is having the unit of energy as well as unit of time. So SI unit of power is joule per second. Joule per second. Joule per second. So 1 joule per second is also equal to 1 watt. WA. So 1 watt. In short, it is written as capital W. Therefore, 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second. If 1 joule of work is done per second, then the power of that device, is 1 watt. You must have seen the electric instruments, the electric devices like bulbs, refrigerators, TV, heaters. They are all rated with power. 60 watt bulb, 100 watt bulb, 40 watt bulb, 1500 watt electric heater, 1500 watt electric heater. What does it mean? 1500 watt electric heater means it consumes 1500 joules of electric energy per second. It consumes 1500 joules of electric energy per second to give us heat. Similarly, 100 watt bulb means it consumes 100 joules of electric energy per second and give us light. So that is how the power is measured. Now let us define what is instantaneous power. Instantaneous power. Power at an instant of time. Power at a given instant of time. So this instantaneous power P is defined as limiting value of average power. Limiting value of average power as time interval tends to 0. Limiting value of average power as time interval tends to 0 is written as dW by dt. Time rate of doing work. Time rate of doing work is called as power or instantaneous power. So this I can write it as limiting value of average power as time interval tends to 0. As time interval tends to 0. Now, suppose a force is applied on any object which leads to displacement. Then work is done. When a force is applied on an object and if the object undergoes displacement, then the work is done. At what rate this work is done can be calculated using this equation. If force does work, if F does work, to displace through a displacement R. Let us say R position vector is the displacement vector. Then work done by force is equal to, we have learned, F dot R. Work done by force is equal to F dot R. Or if it is a small amount of work done, then if the force is constant, if we are assuming that force is constant, then the same equation becomes F dot dr for small amount of work. So if we substitute in this above equation, we get an interesting equation that power is expressed in terms of force vector and displacement vector. Let us see. So power, instantaneous power, P is equal to dW by dt. Now substitute the value, what is the value of dW, or just substitute what is the value of W. We have d by dt of F dot R, and in this case the force which is displacing the object is constant. Therefore, if you take F as constant, the same thing can be written as F dot dr by dt. F dot dr by dt. What is this dr by dt? Rate of change of displacement. What is rate of change of displacement? Velocity, instantaneous velocity. Therefore, this becomes equal to F dot v. F dot v. So power is expressed as cross product of force vector and velocity vector, where you can write velocity vector is equal to rate of change of displacement, which is a vector quantity, and F is a force vector. So the cross product or scalar product of two vectors, here force is also vector and velocity is also vector. The scalar product of two vectors results into scalar quantity. Therefore, remember, power is a scalar quantity. Therefore, power is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity, just like work or energy. You know, work is also scalar quantity, energy is also scalar quantity, time is also scalar quantity. Therefore, power is also scalar quantity. Okay. Now, SI unit of power we have written watt. Watt is the SI unit of power. It is named after the famous scientist James Watt, famous engineer James Watt, who contributed in the innovations of steam engine. Because of his contribution for the modification of steam engine to improve its efficiency, the honor of innovation of steam engine goes to James Watt. Therefore, in the honor of James Watt, the SI unit of power is taken as watt, W-A-T-T, watt. So 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second. Okay. Now we can read what is the dimension. Dimension of power. Dimension of power is having dimension of work done and dimension of time in the denominator. Dimension of work done and dimension of time in the denominator, or dimension of force into dimension of velocity. So dimension of work done, we know m L square t raised to minus 2. This is the dimension of work done divided by dimension of time. Dimension of time is t. Thus, the dimension of power becomes m L square t raised to minus 3. ml square t raised to minus 3 is the SR, is the dimension of power. Even you can verify with dimension of force and velocity. You see, dimension of force is ml square, ml t raised to minus 2 kg meter per second square, ml t raised to minus 2 into dimension of velocity l t raised to minus 1. So if you take the product of this, you see it becomes ml square t raised to minus 3. So this is how one can check for the dimension of power. Now, watt is the SI unit of power. There is one more commonly used unit of power in the rating of the motorbikes, vehicles and so on. That is horsepower. It is an old unit, but still it is being used. Horsepower, average horsepower, or it's the power of the horse in terms of horse. Earlier, there were no machines, there were no engines, there were no machineries at all. So people used to get the work done with the help of animals. So horse is said to have more power. So the unit of power was considered to be horsepower. 1 horsepower HP, 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. Remember this. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. You must have heard about half HP motor, 1 HP motor, 2 HP motor, quarter HP motor. Means it is in terms of horsepower. Half HP motor means 746 divided by 2. So if you carry out this, it comes out to be 373 watt. So while solving the problems, you must remember these conversion facts. Now one more usual unit of energy that is used for electricity billing, for the electricity of usage of electric current in our homes and industries everywhere, we use commercial unit of electric energy. The commercial unit of electric energy is kilowatt hour. What is this kilowatt hour? If, for example, there is a 100 watt bulb, 100 watt bulb is there. If this 100 watt bulb is switched on for 10 hours continuously, if this 100 watt bulb is switched on 10 hours continuously, then it consumes 1 commercial unit. In simple terms, we call it as 1 unit of electric energy. Remember, this is the unit of energy, this is the unit of electric energy, not the unit of power. So let us define what is commercial unit of electric energy. Okay, let us study what is the commercial unit of electric energy. It is 1 kilowatt hour. What is 1 kilowatt hour? 1 kilowatt hour. So when you write watt full, when you are writing full name, it should be written in the short, second letter, kilowatt hour. Okay, this is written as kWh. You have learned even in 10th standard also, same thing we are learning once again. If, for example, if a 100 watt bulb is continuously switched on for 10 hours, it consumes 1 kilowatt hour, 1 kilowatt hour of electric energy, and we just generally call it as 1 unit. On the electricity bill, if you observe, it will be written in terms of number of units consumed. Those units are nothing but kWh. So if you calculate energy, we know that energy is equal to, you see, power into time. Why is it so? Because we know that power is equal to energy consumed per time. Just now we defined power is equal to energy consumed per time or work done per time. So energy is equal to power into time. So what is the power here? Power is 100 watts. Power is 100 watts. What is the time? 10 hours. So therefore 100 watt into 10 hours becomes 1000 watt hours. 1000 watt hour, 1000 watt hour is equal to 1 kilowatt hour. So therefore energy consumed is equal to 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour. So if you express it in terms of joules, how many joules is equal to 1 kilowatt hour? So conversion of kilowatt hour into joules. Let us do it. 1 kWh is equal to 1000 into watt. 1 watt is equal to 1 joule per second into 1 hour. Convert this 1 hour into seconds. 60 minutes into 60 seconds. So this becomes so many number of seconds. 60 into 60 becomes 3600. So 3600 into 1000. 36 lakhs. 36 lakhs joules. See, second cancels. 36 lakhs joules. So it means 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joules equal to 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joules. Please remember this conversion. So this will be helpful by solving the numerical problems. Now we will solve one problem, and before that please remember kilowatt hour is the commercial unit of energy. It is the commercial unit of energy. It is the unit of energy, not the unit of power. There will be always misunderstanding. There will be always misconception. So kilowatt hour, kWh, is unit of energy. Unit of energy, but not of power. Please remember this. There will be always some tricky questions. There will be always confusion. So kilowatt hour is the unit of energy. So if 1000 watt bulb is used for 1 hour, for example, if 1000 watt heater is used for 1 hour, if 1000 watt heater is used for 1 hour, it consumes 1 unit of electric energy. Very simple. Electric heaters you might have seen. It will be written, rating will be written on that. 1000 watt, 1500 watt, 2000 watt. Right? If it is 2000 watt electric heater, if it is used for 2 hours, it consumes 2 units. It consumes 2 commercial unit of electric energy, that is equal to 2 kilowatt hour. I think the things are clear now. You got it. Now let us solve one simple problem based on calculation of power, where we use the scalar product of force and velocity vector. Okay, let us see a problem of calculation of power. An elevator can carry a maximum load of 1800 kilogram. An elevator can carry a maximum load of 1800 kilogram, which includes that of elevator and passengers inside the elevator. It is moving up with constant speed 2 meter per second. The elevator is moving up with constant speed 2 meter per second. Suppose this is a simple diagram of elevator moving up with constant speed v equal to 2 meter per second, and the weight is W equal to mg, and it will be sliding along the walls of the elevator. So while it is moving up or moving down, there will be always a force of friction. That frictional force opposing the motion is 4000 Newton. So frictional force is given which opposes the motion. It is moving up, then opposing motion will be frictional force 4000 Newton. Determine the minimum power delivered by the motor to the elevator in watts. Power in watts as well as in horsepower. Simple problem. So first we will calculate what is the total force the elevator has to overcome. The total force, the total downward force. Total downward force. It's going to be downward force because when the elevator is moving up, you see where is acting vertically downwards? 1800 into 10, where 10 is the acceleration due to gravity, plus when it is moving up, the force of friction is always opposing the motion. So force of friction is also acting vertically downwards. So both the forces are acting vertically downwards. Therefore, total downward force during the motion, upward motion, during the upward motion or motion is F equal to weight plus Fk, that is force of friction. Fk is given 4000 Newton. Directly you can write down 1800 into 10, where 10 is the acceleration due to gravity, mg plus 4000. So 1800 into 10 becomes 18,000. 18,000 plus 4,000. So it becomes 22,000. 22,000 Newton. This becomes the total force actually acting vertically downwards. And the velocity is 2 meter per second. Therefore, V is equal to 2 meter per second speed. Therefore, we know power to be delivered, minimum power to be delivered, to be supplied to the elevator by the motor. It should be more than that. Minimum power we can now calculate. P is equal to F dot V. Upward force must be applied. Velocity is also in the same direction. So F dot V becomes Fp. That's equal to 22,000 into 2. 22,000 into 2. So problem becomes very simple. So 44,000 watts. That becomes 44,000 watts. You can write 44 kilowatts. Okay. Now you are asked to calculate even in the horsepower. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. Therefore, power in horsepower is equal to 746 watts is equal to 1 HP. Therefore, for 44,000, you cancel it out and simplify, you get 59 horsepower. 59 horsepower. So, roughly, the power to be supplied to the elevator will be of the order of 60 horsepower required. Actually, the power supplied will be a little more than this minimum power. That's why we have calculated minimum power. So I will give you one more problem. I will take the photograph from the book and I will give you in the group. So you must try in the group. Rather than writing here, I will just take the photograph and post it on your group. You must try and you must solve the problem. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.